How you going, guys? Welcome back to Hunter's Haven. We just got a bit of a request, and if you've got any other requests, feel free to send them down via YouTube or Facebook. But somebody was asking about a Sterling bolt, how to clean it. This most 22 or 22 Magnum 17 bolts are very similar. They all have similar tendencies and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll give you two ways to show you how to tidy them up. And that should help you with any misfiring and things like that. So we'll go down to the workbench and we'll see what we can find. Okay, guys, the first way I'm going to show you how to do it is just a general clean. There's no disassembling of anything like that. What I use is the Outers crud cutter. You can use any type of solvent type cleaning product, but you want something that's going to be a solvent, a degreasing type of product. It's going to get rid of all the stuff that's in there, and you want to get it all out. Get yourself a little container and pop him in there, and this is a really high pressure type of stuff. This is why I like it. It sort of gets out there pretty good. And you just want to give that a good hosing down and get all the junk out there. So all in these little holes, try to fill it up as much as you can. Another alternative is to fill the bucket up with petrol or something like that and put the whole thing in there, let it break all the way down, get everything out of it. And if you've got an air hose, give it a good blowout as well, and then clean him all off. Then give him a hit with some Gunzilla or some Rem oil or something like that. I like the Gunzilla, it's fantastic stuff. And then give him a light wipe down with your rag and then put him back together. That's the first easy sort of remedy to it. Now we'll go into actually disassembling this bolt and putting it all back together, and we'll go from there. Okay, the first thing you want to do is decock the bolt. You want to take, there's a little spring in here, and it's under a fair amount of tension, so you want to take as much tension off of this as possible to make it a little bit easier for yourself. So you just hold the front of the bolt, and then you just turn it, so you just hold the front of it here and just close the bolt as if you're closing it in the gun, and that's decocked it, and you'll see the spring go in. Alright, I've made up a little wooden cradle, which I seem to find really well for putting bolts and things like that in it, and I've also got a little hole in there for the swage pins. So what we want to do is, there's a swage pin at the back here, and there's also another one under here as well, but we'll get to that one later. So this is our first one to get to at the moment. So I'll line him up with my hole, get myself my little pin. Now these are all very small pins, so you may have to make one or buy some fine punches, but I just made mine. Go all the way through. Now just remember that spring is under tension, so you don't want to punch him all the way out. And also your pin will probably get stuck in there as well. Okay, that pin's out, and now our punch is in there. So what we want to do is try and relieve as much pressure as possible. So we push down on here and pull the pin out. And as our pin comes out, and you can see that spring comes out like that. So we have, that's your spring, you have a sleeve, and there is another swage pin here, so we can just tap him out as well, and that one just comes out like that. Now that's released that. Now what we want to do is pull, this is the firing pin mechanism, the whole lot. So with this one we pull him out and he stops there, and then rotate that a little bit so you can lift that whole thing out like that. So that's your firing pin mechanism, and then your bolt handle will slide off. And that's the whole piece. There are some small pieces in here, but if you're not having any ejector problems or anything like that, that's fine. You can also do that with a bit of that crud cutter. That'll clean any junk out of that. So that's fine. So this one here actually has a broken swage pin here, So we're just replacing that for the customer at the moment. So that's just inhibiting the firing pin. It's actually to stop the firing pin going too far and over travel. So it's just inhibiting that. So it's nice and freely moving now. You know, it's also, I had a look at how much it's coming out with the pin in. Tidied up the end a little bit. They're a hardened bit as well, so you don't want to file, it's hard to file it, so try not to file it too much. But you just want to make a nice square edge, you don't want any burrs or anything like that, and that's fine with that. So what we'll do is we'll just jump straight into putting it back together now. Okay, so once you pulled this apart, I've already cleaned this so it's a little bit better to look at. What you want to do is get into your crud cutter and degrease everything and get all the crap off of it, and then you want to clean him all with the rag, then put him all back together. So this is already just an example for you guys, so we just got it all pulled apart, so we'll just put him back together for you. So what we want to do, put the bolt handle back on, put our firing pin back in. Now what we'd do at this stage is you would pull that back just ever so slightly, and then you've got your over travel swage pin just in there, and then you put that pin back in, but we haven't got our pin made there for that yet, so I'll just carry on without it. We've put our spacer back on. Now with this particular one, I would recommend to just get this started first, so it won't inhibit you putting it on. So it shouldn't go too far through there like that, just get it started. And I'll pop him aside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to re-put that spring back together. So I just use a rag on top just to stop it cutting up my hands a bit. Line them all back together. It's a bit of a hard thing to film, but we'll do our best. Okay, so we've lined up that hole, and as that hole comes up, we're going to put him into that hole there in the bottom of that spring. So this is the hardest bit of all. So once they all line up, we go. So you can see it's a bit of a pain, but it can be achieved. And then we're just recocking our bolt like normal, turn it, and that's ready to go. Once you slide him back in the bolt and back into the firearm, you'll find it's all fine. So that's two ways to do it, guys. Obviously the second one is a little bit harder. If you're not confident with doing anything like that, then maybe send it to your local gunsmith or local gun shop and see if they can help you out with that. But generally, definitely the first option is the first and easiest way to go. And if you have any other dramas after that, then maybe seek some other advice. But that's it from us, guys. If you've got any other recommendations or anything else you'd like to see, then just drop us a line on Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.